Welcome to the Chiro Business Mojo podcast, where we deconstruct the methods, marketing, and mindset of successful business people and chiropractors from around the world. And now your host, Dr. Richard Day. Hello once again. Yes, I am Dr. Richard Day, and this is the Chiro Business Mojo podcast. You have found it, and you are tuned in and dialed in. I'm fired up and ready to go because today I'm going to be talking about the patient experience. What is it? Why is it important? And how do you create one? It's no secret that patients have choices. There are a lot of chiropractors out there doing a lot of different things. And in fact, if you look at healthcare in general, we're utilized by less than 10% of the population, so obviously there's a lot of other players in the healthcare environment. It's also no secret that we attract the type of patients to our practice that are a reflection of us and our style. For example, I'm not an athlete. Boy, do I wish I was, but it's not my thing. And so I don't advertise myself as a sports practitioner. I can't talk the talk. I definitely cannot walk the walk. So I'm more of a family practitioner, and that's who comes into my office. But maybe you are a sports-oriented person. Maybe your practice is geared towards peds. There's a lot of directions you can take this, but your clientele, your patient base, is a reflection of this, right? So that's one way that we separate ourselves from each other. Technique, the message that we send. Another way we might separate ourselves from each other is our certifications. CCSP for a certified chiropractic sports physician. DABC, DABCO. There's a lot of different ways. The public isn't always in tune with these though. As chiropractors, we know what they stand for. But the public doesn't always know when they see a string of letters behind our name. So before we go any further, I want to take a step back and talk to you about the bigger picture. What marketers call this is creating a unique selling proposition. That is what separates you from your competition. And I want to introduce you to one of my favorite people, Mr. Donald Draper.
This is the greatest advertising opportunity since the invention of cereal. We have 6 identical companies making 6 identical products.
In case you're not familiar, Don Draper is the main character in a show called Mad Men. This was set in the 1960s, and he was an advertising and marketing executive. He was smooth, dapper, debonair, but best of all, he had a way with words and a way of convincing people to buy products.
Advertising is based on one thing: happiness. And you know what happiness is? Happiness is the smell of a new car. It's freedom from fear.
So how do we create happiness for our patients who are coming to our practice? One of the things we can do is create the ultimate patient experience. So let's think about your favorite restaurant. Wait, what? Restaurant? Thought we were talking about chiropractic. We are. Stay with me. Where's a place you love to go and eat? Ask yourself some questions. What is it that you love about it? I bet the list is going to look something like this. You love the service. The prices are fair. It's real convenient. You can get in and you can get out. Quality is good. The food is excellent. It's got a great atmosphere. It's probably all of those in different amounts. And hopefully you're seeing there are a lot of parallels between how we perceive a wonderful restaurant and how our patients perceive a wonderful chiropractic practice. So here are some of the things we've done in our practices to create a happy, positive, uplifting patient experience for our patients. Every step along the way we've examined, beginning with patient first contact. That can be a website. That can be finding us through their insurance provider website. That can be driving by the building and seeing the sign. Everything that we try to do is designed to make a good first impression. Our CA and our staff, they're well trained. They know how to greet people. We look for people, those who are good at understanding that we are in the people business and have good interpersonal skills. We make sure that our paperwork is ready to go, organized, and that we have the appropriate patient paperwork for the appropriate patient. What I mean by that is, are they a PI patient? That's a different set of paperwork that we use for someone who's just coming in paying for wellness care. Our doctors are well trained so that they can ask the right questions to quickly make an accurate assessment of the patient's history of present illness. By the same token, they know exactly what to say when they go in and they do a report of findings. There's a way that you need to talk to patients to help them understand what it is we're talking about. Every patient is different. Some people are going to be in for short-term care and others may have a chronic issue that's going to take much longer. But our doctors are trained to be able to explain that in a way that's not threatening to the patient, that's informative to the patient, and that actively involves them and their choices in healthcare. At each daily visit, We talk a little bit, of course, about how the patient is today and how they're responding to our care, but we talk about the bigger picture of chiropractic as well. We sprinkle in little bits of education along the way. In our office, we don't have mandatory classes where people need to come and bring their significant other. We talk about chiropractic and the bigger picture and those benefits, but we do that as we go throughout the treatment plan. That way we're building a rapport with the patient and a trust as well. These things simply don't come overnight, and we're not in the business of force-feeding our perspective on anyone. So from the initial contact with our office, through the stages of care, their progression into wellness, we are doing everything in our power to make this a positive, happy, uplifting experience for that patient. And guess what? If we succeed in that, our patients, we're not having to push anything. They are loving us, and out of the goodness of their hearts and wanting to share what they found for themselves with others, they are spreading that to their friends and their neighbors, and that is the best form of advertising out there. So action steps when you go into the office? Well, take a deep, hard look at what you're doing now. Be self-critical and figure out your weak points. What can you do better? Construct a design for a superior patient experience and start delivering it. I've given you what we do in our office. You're more than welcome to take that. As always, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to send them in. We love hearing from you, and here's to your success. Thank you for listening to the Chiro Business Mojo podcast. For links to what was discussed in today's episode, check out the show notes at chirobusinessmojo.com. And be sure to jump on over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review if you liked what you heard. We'll see you next time.